So today we're going to talk about the Nodreik people, and they are they're bright and industrious people. The original founders of the Empire of Chancelmir. They're really smart. They're very gifted in magic, but they don't use it anymore. They really don't have any spellcasters now, and that story is um, a little sad, but it's also a story about heroic sacrifice, and it's pretty cool. The so the Nodreik live in the northern half of the Empire of Chancelmir, and Chancelmir is an empire that is composed of like 30 different kingdoms, kind of city states that that just each one of them has kind of its own unique culture, uh, and its own views of the world, and how they fit within that empire called Chancelmir. Chancelmir itself lives in the central. It occupies the central portion of a continent, northern Dosha, which is kind of to the west of other places, and I won't get into that right now. But the Nodreik people are in the 12 northern kingdoms, and there's 18 southern kingdoms and 12 northern kingdoms. And when you think about them, you might want to have like the image of like old like German culture or Prussian cultures. Those are kind of influencers on them. They speak generally one of two languages, Volksback, which is I guess you could common tongue. Really, it's the language of Chancelmir. If you're going to do business or dwell within Chancelmir, you have, in addition to whatever other languages are your local language, you have to know Volksback. Then the other language that's really common in the northern kingdoms is Bergerschback, and that is kind of the common speech. Like when I say common speech, I don't mean like the common language everybody knows. I mean the language of commoners, the common people language. And a lot of people who are from the urban areas, when they hear somebody talking in Bergerschback, they kind of look down on them a little bit. And it really the people in the northern empire, especially the real city dwellers and the really industrious ones, they kind of have this aloof air to them, like a superiority kind of feel to them that comes off to a lot of people as really abrasive, and they're not bad. They have, they have a lot of heroes and they're good guys, but they can really rub you the wrong way pretty easily. But anyway, they the reason that they have completely forbidden magic in the northern kingdoms of the empire is there were two great wars, and that did it all. It was like after these two wars, they were done, and nobody's going to use magic in these kingdoms. You just can't do it. It's been outlawed. There are inquisitors that go around and hunt people down. They don't necessarily kill them, but they'll get to them, and they'll make sure they understand that it is not safe to use magic here. Stop. And so if you're playing a spellcaster and you're playing in the northern half of the empire, you just have to be careful. You have to try to play it down, and not use it in cities or out in the open or anything. But if you do, you can expect, even then, they have means of detecting you, and they'll kind of come and start asking questions and trying to find out what's going on. And so it's kind of when we've role played that in the past, it's been pretty fun, and that can even stretch into the southern kingdoms from some, because they're pretty serious about it. Anyway, the first Great War happened a long time ago, and I'm not going to get into that, but this one's important because it does bear direct this is the event that kind of ended, and they just walked away. Is there was a guy named Avaroth, and he was kind of like a little bit outcast. He was in the Wizards Academy, kind of learning about like different forms of magic, and he was studying, but he wasn't a very good student, and he never really excelled. And then he found a tome, and it had all this forbidden magic that like you weren't supposed to be written. Well, that was a book that was written by the guy who started the first great Mage War. And it just had a lot of stuff that kind of messed with his head, but it also gave him a lot of power. And he started summoning an army of these shadow demon creatures into the world, and one by one he was crushing these academies that had kind of not really given him the respect he felt like he deserved. And he was doing it, but he was kind of just tearing things apart. And so the the Empire's army is called the Oberwehren, and they set out to fight against Avaroth and put an end to this. They fought back against the shadow demons, and there were devastating battles that cost just so many lives, to get this under control. And they slowly started to win, and a lot of their victories came because they had a group called the Nachtolfen, and the Nachtolfen are like, you just think of them like special forces. They don't have a lot of numbers, but when they hit something, they hit it hard and they hit it fast, and they're just very, very tactical fighters. And based on the actions of the Oberwehren with the Nachtolfen helping them, they managed to push Avaroth's forces back and establish like a foothold, just where they had him pinned in, trapped in his tower, that he decided to hold up in, and kind of make a last push to just kind of obliterate everything. And so the Nachtolfen, they go on missions, and they have a unit called a den that is like 10 members. There's like there'll be one member who's like the leader of the den, and then they have 3 packs, and the packs are the units that actually break out into hunts. And the pack will have one like super experienced guy that is the leader, and then they'll have 2 really, really, really talented people with him. So this pack is assigned to get into the tower and finish everything. And nobody really knows exactly what happened in that event, but 3 Nachtolfen, 2 guys and a female, broke into the tower, fought their way to the top, and like they could see something going on, but they really weren't sure what. And from the base, like from where they were surrounded, they just see shadowy movement. And then there was an explosion, and a flash of like light and energy just burst out of the tower and destroyed it and killed a lot of people near the tower. Obviously the 3 heroes who made it up there were gone. But with that, the dark forces started to subside, and people realized the war was over. But whatever happened in that tower unleashed so much energy that it almost destroyed Eoden. Like, there are places in the western part of the empire that even 100 or more years later, they're still like permeated with wild magic. And so if you were to cast a spell in those areas, literally you could, like, bad things could happen. You could summon demons around you, or you could have like just the spell could come out and immediately explode in your face. It's a region where magic is really powerful, because of all the damage that was done, and like the universe, I guess, is a little thin there, where other, like, other worlds kind of are collapsing in to Eoden a little bit. So it's a place where it's just you don't do it, and so or you do, and you risk the consequences. But that after that, the Nodreik people, who are who were these very, very powerful and gifted wizards, just kind of walked away, and they said, this is too dangerous what we were doing, and they kind of just said, we gotta take some steps and precautions, and at least for now, they're letting those areas heal up, and maybe at some point in the future things will change, but right now you're going to see a lot of people trying to discourage spellcasters in the northern kingdoms, and especially the northwestern kingdoms, as you approach towards Njoldir, which is like way northwest. In Njoldir, things are fine, but kind of in the middle western and northern kingdoms, you just don't want to do it. And I guess that kind of explains who the Nodreik people are. That's what I wanted to do today. So I hope you enjoy the video. Thanks.